a family moves into a centuries-old home and uncovers its ominous history.
The list went on. Murders to mass murders, you name it, it happened.
What begins with mysterious noises.
What is that?
Here you go, Casey.
And an imaginary friend turns into something so dark, so evil.
It was trying to kill me. I'm fighting with all my might.
Only a higher power can save them.
Jay!
It will never back down. It will go out and destroy you any way that it can.
You're all going to die.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. New England's idyllic countryside attracts many families looking to put down roots in its picture postcard communities.
It was a very nice area, and it was kind of on the upper scale. We thought it was going to be a nice area, good schools to raise a family.
Jay Yable and his family are lucky to move into an historic late 18th century house near the town center.
It was a large home, and it was something that I could call my own, and the price was more than reasonable at the time.
Jay is retired military and now works as a maintenance supervisor at a nearby office complex.
Got some water for you.
Oh, yes!
His wife, Elka, works as a medical assistant.
Oh my gosh, babe. It is so much bigger than I remembered.
Welcome to the American dream.
When I first met Elka, her upbeat spirit, that's what kind of drew me to her. I think we knew right from the beginning that it was going to be a match.
We take a break.
Girls?
The spacious home seems the perfect place to raise their twin girls, Alex and Riley.
Huh? What do you think?
It looks like the biggest, most beautiful dollhouse ever. It's all ours, even the trees?
Even the trees.
Jay can't wait to show off the house to his friend Mike Sokol.
Oh, right here. Oh, yeah.
Jay and I grew up together, attended each other's weddings, children's births, baptisms.
Helping us move, man, that goes beyond friendship.
I've known him since I was like 5 years old. We were best friends. He's like a brother to me.
Man, you are really moving on up. Just look at this.
Girls, please don't get in Daddy's way.
Hey, come back here, you little rascals!
You're wearing me out.
Hey,
Yes.
I know you have your reservations.
Yes.
Look,
When Jay and Elka found the house, it was a little more of a hard sell for her.
after we unpack,
And spackle, and paint, and fix these creaky floors. Oh, it's a lot of work.
I said, once we start to decorate it and make it look nice, it's going to become your home. It's going to be something special.
Hey, Jay, come on, get in here, I need you!
Yes.
But it's more than just the renovations. Elka's instincts tell her something is not right about the house. Something she can't identify.
Elka's like, I don't like it, something's wrong.
Over the following weeks, painting and major repairs are done, and the family settles into a comfortable routine.
tell me again why we use a baby monitor for our kids, as old as they are?
Because your children like to wake up in the middle of the night and go exploring. You remember the time we caught Riley heading out the back door at midnight to find the cat? Whoa, hello. Whoa.
Mommy, can we have some?
Okay, but just one, because I do not want you to spoil your dinner. Excuse me, I said just one.
But this one's for Casey.
That would be their new imaginary friend.
My daughters would talk about sometimes they would play with somebody, a girl in their room, and we thought it was just imaginary friends like a lot of kids would have.
That one's for Casey.
You are something else.
For 7 months, all has been relatively tranquil in the house, until one night.
Jay?
What is that?
I have no idea.
Somebody or something is banging on the walls. Boom, boom, boom.
Could be the pipes. An old house like this.
Wait, listen.
It was like someone scratching on a wall with claws.
Over here.
Sounds like it's coming from all around us. Like something trying to get out.
Or in.
Jay suspects it's neighborhood kids pulling a prank. But there is no one in sight.
I looked on the porch, and at this point, I was dumbfounded.
Anything?
No?
I said, nobody could move that fast.
Weird.
A few nights later, the strange sounds continue. This time from the audio monitor connected to the twins' bedroom.
Jay, did you leave the TV on?
No.
What is that noise?
Static.
I shouldn't be doing that. What's wrong with it? Oh, this thing.
You're all going to die.
Oh my God, the girls! The girls!
In 2006, the Yapel family moves into a late 18th century house in suburban Connecticut. At first, all is calm, but a few months later, they begin hearing strange noises they can't explain.
What is that?
Things are happening, and I have no idea what's going on.
One night, the mysterious sounds grow threatening when a message comes across the audio monitor from their daughter's bedroom.
You're all going to die.
You hear this voice, and it says, "You all are going to die."
Oh my God, the girls! The girls!
We jumped up, and we ran right into the kids' room. And there was nothing.
They're fine.
They were sound asleep.
No one's here. No one's been here.
Elka's initial wariness about the house now turns to fear.
There's something wrong with this house, Jay. I'm telling you. There's something wrong with this house.
She knew there was too many coincidences that weren't adding up, and she was convinced at this point there was something really bad in the house. I'm like, just calm down. I said, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. I'm trying to rationalize things.
But there is nothing logical about these sounds. One afternoon, Jay stays home from work to take care of the girls when Elka comes down with the flu.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like some more tea, honey?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, though.
After moving into the house, Elka changed a little bit. She seemed to become ill more.
Jay?
Yeah, I heard it.
What is that?
Sounds like someone upstairs.
You could hear someone taking like a cane or stick and going up and down on the side of the kid's bed.
Casey's here.
Casey is Riley's imaginary friend. But Jay doesn't believe in the invisible. As an ex-soldier trained for combat, he decides to take action against the intruder.
I went to my room and I grabbed my weapon. My heart is beating fast. I'm praying. I don't ever want to have to shoot somebody in my house.
Jay finds no one and nothing disturbed in Alex and Riley's room. And the sounds grow more insistent.
And it was loud, like somebody's really angry. Whoever was in the house was actually right above my head. And I figured if there was somebody up there, I had them because they were in the attic and there was no way out. There was nothing. There was nobody.
I don't get it. What were those noises?
I told you. Something is not right.
Elka is starting to think that the house is haunted. I would say that there's got to be a logical explanation. Maybe what we really heard wasn't footsteps, or maybe it wasn't the rapping sounds. Maybe it's the old house creaking or settling.
Weeks pass, and Elka grows more afraid.
She'd be like, you know, I don't feel safe in this house. There's something going on. She would feel like someone would be standing back and watching her.
Deep in the heart of New England, a family of 4 is haunted by mysterious sounds they can't explain.
You're all going to die.
Wherever she goes, Elke Yapel senses something in the house.
Elke had come to Jay and said, I think there's some kind of spirits in our house. And of course, I was skeptical.
One afternoon, Elke feels the presence growing stronger. Elke thinks she's safe, but there's no escaping.
Jay! Jay!
The toys just went off altogether, and they were getting louder and louder.
Stop it!
Every single toy stopped simultaneously.
Enough! I want out of this house! I want out of this house!
Honey?
After the toy incidents, I started believing there was something really wrong. I kept thinking maybe if it was a ghost, it was somebody who lived there and didn't like us being in their house.
Unable to take his wife's distress any longer, Jay goes on a mission.
That's when I decided I was going to go down to the town hall and start doing research to see if anybody died in the house.
Town records indicate the house was built in the late 1700s. And right away, Jay notices something peculiar.
The house was bought by somebody, a year later it was sold, bought, 6 months later sold, a year and a half sold, 7 years sold. And this is a pattern.
Jay makes another sobering discovery.
What's up, buddy?
Mike,
Jay shares his findings with his best friend.
there have been a lot of deaths in this house.
What?
Look at this.
Jay finds over a dozen murders, suicides, and accidental deaths related to the house.
And not just people that lived here, but friends, neighbors, people associated with the house.
He found that there was a lengthy history of really bizarre occurrences. So that kind of put a little, chill down my back. I'm like, whoa.
I started believing the house is haunted.
We are trying to contact the spirit or entity in this house. Reveal yourself.
Jay contacts Orlando Ferranti, head of the Paranormal Research Society of Connecticut, a non-profit group of paranormal investigators.
Anything?
Maybe there's nothing here.
Oh, no. I can feel something.
When I got into the home, you could just feel the oppression and the negative energy in that household. I've never felt that kind of energy before in my life. It's just a cesspool of negativity. I walked around the house with a recording device and some EMF detectors.
EMF detectors measure electromagnetic fields. An energy spike indicates possible paranormal activity.
I wasn't getting any abnormal readings, but I still felt this oppression. I was very concerned about this negative energy because it was watching me. It did not want me there.
Orlando.
Suddenly, the team's psychic picks up on the energy.
All of a sudden, the spirit is talking through his body. The psychic changed from his normal, quiet personality into this arrogant, nasty, demonic.
Are you the entity who controls this house? Who are you? Name yourself.
You are all going to die. You are going to hell.
Why do you torment this family? You want somebody? Come after me!
For more A Haunting, visit destinationamerica.com. Ever since the Yapel family moved into a historic New England house, they have felt a dark presence. And when Jay uncovers more than a dozen murders, suicides, and accidental deaths related to the house, the former military man has no choice but to believe.
I live in a haunted house. I'm starting to get very frightened. There's something that is pure evil.
Jay reaches out to paranormal experts to investigate the house, when suddenly the psychic channels a dark entity.
You are all going to die.
And things turn violent.
Lily! Are you all right? Are you okay?
Anything with that kind of power that can pick up a human being and throw them is something demonic.
Orlando suspects the number of deaths related to the house could have attracted a demon.
A lot of that negative energy becomes residual negative energy, and it could attract other negative energies. It's almost like a beacon.
When he mentioned a demon, I was terrified. We were worried about Alex and Riley and their safety, along with our safety.
Orlando promises he will put together a plan to help them.
He wanted to get all kinds of evidence so he could bring to the church to have the church authorize a exorcism on the house.
A week later,
There was this girl, like she just came back from a dance or something. She was trying to kill me. I'm fighting with all my might, and I'm not a small guy, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm fighting. I'm like, this is a bad dream. I wanted to yell for Elka, and I couldn't speak. My voice was gone. All of a sudden, it was like a popping sound. And it was gone. What a nightmare. What a horrible nightmare.
Or so he thinks. The following morning, to Jay's horror, the nightmare appears to have been real.
That scared me to the core.
What happened?
I don't know.
I kept playing a scenario over my head. Why did it happen? What was it? Could it come back? Could it attack my girls? Could it attack my wife?
Jay consults with a paranormal expert who believes he knows what happened.
He experienced phantomania, which is basically the experience of being frozen, if you will. The energy is being sucked out of you and being used by the spirit.
He thinks the entity that attacked Jay could be a shape-shifting demon.
It's possible that this negative energy or demonic entity could be changing its form. It could change itself to a female, it could change itself to a child, it could change itself to even an animal.
Orlando also has bad news for Jay. He won't be coming back.
And there's no way I can come back to the house anymore.
The demon is affecting his family.
I had to back out of the investigation.
I understand.
My kids come first, and they were being traumatized by something unseen. My oldest son, for a week straight, had these nightmares, these horrible nightmares of an old man with a decrepit-looking face.
They were actually getting visions of my house in their heads.
I had to back away, but I didn't want to give up trying to help Jay.
I wanted to take my family at that point and run, and I couldn't.
Everything the Yapel family owns is tied up in the house.
I had to stay and fight, and I was fighting alone.
The family was becoming more isolated. Everyone just didn't want to attend his house. I felt terrible. We've been friends for years, 30 plus years. And there's nothing I can do to help him.
Would you like some more cake? Yes, please.
Jay is frightened for his family, but relieved his daughters appear immune from danger.
It seemed like it had boundaries. It has, like, rules of engagement. This entity would go after Elko or try to scare me.
Would you like some more tea? Yes, please.
For some reason, this thing would not go after my children.
Don't forget Casey. Here you go, Casey.
Elka is less optimistic about their chances. She copes by maintaining a normal routine.
Jay? Jay!
What? What?
Do you hear it?
No.
I swear, there was something here and it was watching me. Just listen.
I heard something, and it sounded like it was on 2 hoofs.
What is that?
Really, really scared me.
For 2 years, the Yapel family has been living in a centuries-old mansion with a dark secret. A past filled with sadness and death. Could this unsettling history have invited a shape-shifting demon into the home?
I've seen what a really bad entity is. It was so terrifying.
Just listen.
One night, the demon traps Jay and Elka in their attic.
We could actually hear this hoofed animal, and you could see the footprints. Total fear went over me. I have a big fear of the devil himself. That's what was going in my mind. It was actually the devil himself. This thing could see me, I couldn't see it. I was like, we're dead meat, you know, we're screwed. I can't do anything.
It stopped. Can we go?
Slow.
Okay.
Desperate to protect his family, Jay calls in Bob Baker of Connecticut Paranormal Investigators, an expert in demonic hauntings.
Thank you so much for coming. Where would you like?
He immediately senses something.
Whatever was in that house met me right at the door. And you could feel the oppression there.
Let's start upstairs. Come on.
The Yapels were very scared. I could see that they have already been through hell. They weren't sleeping. That was affecting their health.
Bob and his team measure the electromagnetic field in the house to detect for paranormal activity.
I think we got something here. Do you hear that?
We actually heard something come walking down the attic stairs. It sounded like it weighed about 500 pounds. We didn't know whether to run or to stay.
Whoa, what happened? Are you all right?
My back started burning.
Wow.
I had like 9 scratches on my back.
It was like somebody took a whip and just whipped Bob.
It's very painful. It's just like getting scratched by a human. It's the same feeling. It draws blood and it hurts just as bad.
Bob believes an attack such as this could indicate the presence of a special kind of demon called a Wendigo.
The Wendigo type of demon can be very vicious. They hate us and they just want us dead. In many cases, the demon is there first. You kind of acquire it when you move in.
According to Bob, moving may not help the Yapel family get rid of the demon.
If the Yapels had gotten out right away, within the first 6 months, they probably would have gotten away with not having too much of a problem afterwards. But because they stayed so long, an attachment does form. You have to fight the battle where it starts. If you move away, then this thing will just torment you for the rest of your life.
You're all going to die.
That was really disturbing. I knew this thing could follow me and wreak more havoc on my life.
I was concerned about them being in the house. Jay seemed genuinely afraid and concerned for his family. He was overwhelmed by it. It was almost consuming him.
Jay turns to his faith for strength.
I was becoming more religious. If something's out to hurt me and it's negative, I'm going to go in the opposite direction and become stronger with my faith.
Bob reassures Jay that he will bring over a Dominican order bishop who is a world-renowned exorcist. The bishop can't come right away. The Yapels have no choice but to wait, hoping the haunting will not grow more dangerous.
I don't want to go in that house.
I know.
All right, girls. Hey, Dolly. Watch your fingers.
Hey, you ready?
Hey, hun. I'm gonna go get the mail.
Okay.
Papa,
Yeah, baby.
Casey's getting mad.
Casey's your imaginary friend, right?
You have to tell Jesus to stay away from the house.
I said, why would you say that? Riley says to me, she goes, Casey doesn't like you, Papa.
That's not a very nice thing for Casey to say, sweetheart. Casey is bad. All right? I don't think you should listen to her.
In suburban Connecticut, the Yapel family is tormented by a shape-changing demon some call a Wendigo. Their best hope is to have a world-renowned bishop perform an exorcism of the house, an ancient ritual to cast out demons. The bishop reassures the family he will come as soon as he's able, but it won't be soon enough.
Papa,
Yeah, baby.
Casey's getting mad.
All of a sudden, you can hear the truck start rolling backwards, and Elka almost goes under the wheel.
Jay!
Elka! The truck would have rolled over Elka and actually killed her.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Jay now realizes the twins have been interacting with an evil entity, but feels powerless to stop it.
The imaginary friend Casey was becoming more and more dangerous. So now I'm totally desperate. I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about Elka. She almost got killed. Now I really need to have an exorcist come in.
The day comes when the bishop arrives to perform an exorcism of the house.
You girls ready for the baptism?
He begins by rebaptizing Alex and Riley.
We already had them baptized.
I baptize thee in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
And he says, no. He goes, they're being baptized by me.
And the Holy Spirit.
The bishop talked to Riley about the imaginary friends. And then he took his thumb and made the sign of the cross over and told her not to speak any more of them, that they cannot hurt her or touch her, and to let him go.
Glorious Father.
Then the bishop begins the rite of exorcism.
Save this servant from the enemy. Glorious Father. Save thy servant from the enemy. Gloria Patri.
Jay!
Save this servant from the enemy.
When the bishop first came in, the house was tense and very angry. And then after he left, the house felt calm and mild.
We noticed an immediate change in the house. It felt lighter.
He does. He mows the grass.
Look
at night.
Food, drinks.
You read my mind.
Elka noticed the change. She was like, I actually kind of feel good.
You know, you spilled some on the table.
You know?
That's all right. It's paid for.
So if that's the worst that happens, I think we're okay.
After everything we've been through.
Everything's back to normal.
Since that day, paranormal activity has returned to the Yapel house.
The bishop, I believe, did weaken it to the point where we can actually live in the house.
The ultimate mystery, whether a demon somehow entered the home and triggered years of violence, or if various violent events somehow attracted a demon, is one that will likely never be solved.
The violence in that house was just so overwhelming over the years.
Jay!
I believe there was probably a demon in this house right from the beginning.
The Yapels plan to move once they can sell the house.
I would hope they move. Or we burn the house to the ground, one of the two. And I don't know how you get rid of it. You can't kill it, you can't blow it up. I said, we gotta pray. That's all we have left.
It's so hard to live with it. You want to get out, you pray, somebody we come up and say, hey, I'll buy your house for you, move. I wish the town would just buy it or someone would buy it and just destroy it.
Until then, Jay Yapel soldiers on.
I'm fighting an endless war against something that's unseen and that I have no defense over, and I just have to keep my eyes open.
When a woman with a dark past
She got into black magic. She drank human blood.
awakens dormant spirits,
Come and show yourself.
she unleashes a terrified ghostly child.
She was scared of something that was in the house.
And a sinister spirit with deadly intentions.
We had no clue how intense it was about to get.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. In the summer of 2013, Stephen McDade, his girlfriend Taylor Jones, and their 5-year-old daughter Isabel move into a small suburban home.
One of the reasons why I like living outdoors this way is there's woods. I love to hunt and fish the rivers and the creeks.
The Ohio River is right there. It's very quaint. It's very quiet. We like that. Quiet is good.
Guys?
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What do you have?
Luna, take it.
Me and Taylor were living with my father, and after we had Isabel, we decided it was time to get our own place and move out and start our life together.
It's a natural next step for this young couple who've been together nearly 9 years.
Taylor, she's beautiful. She is my best friend, and we love each other to death.
He's just all around a great person. I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, you think of family and I see us. I've never been happier.
There you go. Oh, go play with Luna.
Thought it'd just be a great place that we could raise our little girl, grow as a family, keep strong, and be good to each other.
Luna's got a better house than I do.
I know.
Built in the early 1900s, the home includes a refurbished attic, which now serves as Isabel's bedroom.
Isabel has her own little penthouse upstairs. She's very happy to have her own space and plenty of room to be running around. Mainly, we wanted Isabel to be comfortable and happy.
Stephen is an avid hunter and keeps a handgun in the home for protection.
My main concern with having a gun was Isabel. She's been around guns, you know. Her daddy, he's an avid hunter. We're very, very cautious with it.
Don't shoot.
Whatever. Hey, before you go, you think maybe you could sit down? I got something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So I was thinking that, now that we have our own place, maybe we could, invite your mom over.
Taylor hasn't seen her mother for nearly 10 years. Stephen hopes that they can mend their broken relationship.
She talked about her mother, Joyce. She wasn't in her life too much. They had a falling out, and I know they just have a hard time seeing eye to eye.
The kind of person she is, the things she's done, I don't know.
My mother left me when I was very young and went over to Germany and got caught up in some things that she should not have gotten caught up in. She got into black magic. She drank human blood from a chalice. She has a pentagram tattooed on her. My dad did anything and everything he could to keep me safe because being with my mother was not a safe environment. It was very ugly. It was very ugly.
People change. Maybe you guys can work it out.
Family's a big part of our lives. I wanted Taylor to try to reach out to her mother because I think everybody needs to be forgiven, given a second chance.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Taylor finally agrees, not for herself, but for her daughter, Isabel.
We need to get Isabel and Mom together to really make sure that there's a relationship there with the two of them, because I had a wonderful relationship with my grandmother.
Any word yet?
No, not yet.
Despite Taylor's misgivings, later that summer, the day arrives when estranged mother and daughter are reunited.
I had my worries, I had my concerns, I had my fears, but the thing that kept, overcoming all of that was, people change, Taylor. You have to remember that people change. It's okay.
I was happy to hear that Taylor wanted her mother to come out and spend time with us. I was hoping for the best.
Taylor.
I really didn't know what I was expecting.
How are you?
Hello, darling.
Hello, Joyce.
Have you been eating? You look terrible. Way too thin.
Immediately, out of her mouth was the judgment.
Hi, I'm Steven. It's nice to finally meet you.
When I met Joyce, the vibe she put off was hateful in a way.
Isabel, this is Joyce, my mother.
Your grandmother.
Isabel stayed back a little bit. I think that it was a little strange for her.
Aren't you just precious? Do you have a hug for your grandma?
Luna.
My mother, when she saw Isabel, she's looking basically at a child that looks so much like me at that age. The age that she turned her back to me.
I'm sure it was a long trip. I'm sure you're ready to get settled. Let me show you where you're staying.
I was hoping they could build their relationship back up, but I was still nervous. I didn't want Taylor to get hurt again.
Be nice.
You'll be staying in Isabel's room. I hope that's all right. She can sleep with Steven and me. There's fresh towels in the bathroom, and help yourself to anything in the fridge.
You know, there's a presence here. Right here in this room with us.
What?
You have a ghost. I know you're here. I can feel you.
Joyce, please don't say that kind of thing in my home.
Have some respect. We have a child in this home. That is no place for you to sit here and start picking at spirits, ghosts, entities, whatever.
And Taylor, please call me Mom.
It was just a negative vibe.
That night, Joyce attempts to make contact with the spirit she believes is trapped in the house.
I know you're here. Show yourself to me. Come forward. Come forward. Come and show yourself. I command you.
Soon after settling into their new home, Taylor Jones invites her estranged mother for a visit.
Taylor.
My mother and I, we had a relationship when I was younger, and then it fell apart.
Hello, darling.
So, as an adult, there was 10 years that went by.
Hello, Joyce.
Taylor's father kept her away from Joyce once he found out she practiced black magic.
There was a lot of ugliness that happened. There were a lot of things that she got into that I didn't understand as a child. I had lost her so many times before.
You know, there's a presence here.
I kept in the back of my mind, you know, don't get your hopes up.
That night, Joyce is staying in her granddaughter's attic bedroom.
I know you're here.
When she makes contact with what she believes is a ghost. Downstairs, Taylor is suddenly overcome with an uneasy feeling.
I didn't feel right. Something was off. You could feel a coolness.
Come out. You can't hide. Show yourself. I know you're here. Come and show yourself. I command you.
What the hell do do you think you're doing? And don't lie to me, I heard you.
I'm simply communicating with the spirits in your house.
I was mortified. This is supposed to be my mother, and she's going against everything that I believe.
I think I know what happened here.
Joyce senses a presence in the house.
She said, there's a little girl that lives in there. She said that she felt that little girl was hurting bad.
And she is not alone. A darker spirit is with her.
She sensed there was something else here with us, that there were other spirits here.
But Taylor refuses to listen.
I told you I didn't want you to do this. No more, Mother.
I told her point blank, I said, you need to shut your mouth. We have a child in this home. You are putting us all in danger in doing this.
I want you out.
Black magic, it affects everybody around you. Everybody. I don't know everything that she's done. I don't know what she's capable of.
Distraught, Taylor tells Stephen that she wants her mother to leave as soon as possible.
I felt violated. Our home at that point, completely 100% had been violated. I told Stephen, I can't have her in my life. I can't do this. This is an ugly circle. It's not fair for Isabel to see me upset. It's not fair for her to feel tension.
I knew she played with black magic when she was out of the States. One of the first things she did was to try to egg on the spirits. Joyce, she was gonna have to go.
It's now been 2 months since Joyce's departure. All seems normal, but Taylor fears her mother's black magic may have conjured up something in the house.
When she left, I was definitely on the lookout that she didn't stir things up.
I would have to try to calm Taylor down. Don't think about it. Don't put too much thought into it.
I heard giggling, you know, little girl giggling.
It's coming from Isabel's room.
I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, no, she needs to be sleeping.
What happened then? That's silly. Here, do you want to play with this? Oh my.
What are you doing?
Playing with my friends.
You're supposed to be in bed, young lady.
She's sitting there on her floor as if she was interacting with somebody.
It's a school night.
Laughing, giggling.
It's bedtime, not playtime. I don't want to hear another noise coming from up here, okay?
Okay.
Close your eyes, Isabel.
For the past few months, Stephen McDade, Taylor Jones, and their 5-year-old daughter Isabel have been living a peaceful life in their new Ohio home. Until Taylor's mother comes for a visit.
Come and show yourself. I command you.
Joyce likes to stir things up. If there are entities or energies or spirits, she instigates them.
But before Joyce can warn her daughter about what she saw, Taylor demands that she leave.
I want you out.
Soon after Joyce's departure, Isabel begins playing with an imaginary friend. At first, her parents aren't concerned.
I tried to brush it off as kids in their imaginations.
I really didn't worry too much about it.
Until Isabel's playmate appears in one of her drawings.
When we asked her about the picture, well, who's this right here? There's Isabel, there's Mommy, there's Daddy, and there's my friend.
Taylor and Stephen quickly realize that to Isabel, the little girl is very real.
Okay, then the wheels start turning. Who is she talking to? I was getting nervous. I was getting anxious.
Kind of threw me off. First thing that went through my head was, it seems like something out of a scary movie.
But unbeknownst to Taylor and Stephen, Isabel's ghostly friend has a dark secret. A second spirit lurks in the house, and he is terrifying. As the weeks pass, Isabel grows more and more anxious, refusing to enter her attic bedroom.
She was scared of something that was in the house. That's when I started getting a little concerned and worried.
Isabel was telling us that it felt like there was somebody behind her all the time. She didn't feel like she was alone.
It's okay.
She just didn't want to be up there. She did not want to be up there.
Isabel?
What we ended up finding out, I wouldn't have wanted to be up there either.
One weekend, Stephen goes out of town.
I was going out on a hunting trip, me and my father. I never liked leaving Taylor and Isabel by themselves. This time I was a little bit more worried with the stuff that was going on in the house.
I miss Stephen when he leaves, you know, I was having a hard time sleeping. Luna was right next to me. All of a sudden, she started barking.
What is it, Luna?
She was locked on something.
What is it, Luna? You said...
My initial reaction, I need to protect my child. There's somebody there. Every hair on my body was standing on end. I could sense there was something there.
Luna suddenly grows quiet.
When Luna kind of backed off, I was like, all right, whatever that was is gone.
For more A Haunting, visit DestinationAmerica.com. For the past few weeks, 5-year-old Isabel
Do you want to play with this?
has been passing the time with an imaginary playmate.
I didn't feel like it was something to worry about.
But is it just a pretend friend? Or could it be a ghost? One weekend, her dad goes on a hunting trip, leaving Isabel and her mom alone in the house.
What was it, Luna?
Taylor grabs one of the guns the family keeps in the house for protection.
Good girl. It's okay.
There was a man standing plain as day. I had my .38 in position ready to fire.
Then in an instant, he's gone. Taylor now feels certain her house is haunted.
I was so scared. I couldn't deny that there was a ghost in my house. People say, oh, you're crazy, that stuff doesn't exist. It exists. It is real. It is very real.
When Stephen comes home, Taylor tells him about her terrifying encounter.
All the doors were locked. There was nothing, and so I come back over here to Luna, and she will not go into the kitchen. She's staying here and refuses to go in.
You could just see it all over her face that something happened to her. She said that she's seen somebody at the door that was there, but wasn't there. She was pretty shook up about it.
And when I turn around, there's just a guy standing there.
There's nothing that I could do. Nothing. If this is a ghost, I have no control. When am I gonna see something next? When am I gonna feel something next? There was a total feeling of helplessness.
Stephen tries to comfort Taylor, but he doesn't know what to do.
Taylor started to feel the presence around her all the time. And I know it scared her. I was just trying to reassure her as much as I could.
Stephen is our protector, you know. He takes care of us girls and would never want us to feel unsafe. And at that point, I knew Stephen could not comfort those feelings.
Over the next few days, he attempts to carry on with everyday life, hoping these strange occurrences will stop on their own.
I've always believed in ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, but I'd always would try to debunk it. Don't put too much thought into it. Pay no attention to them, and maybe, hopefully, it would just go away.
But lately, he can't shake the feeling that he's being watched.
I was getting creepy feelings. And I happened to glance up. There was a guy standing up there in Isabel's bedroom. Got in the house, there's nobody there.
Like Taylor, Stephen is now convinced that the house is haunted.
I kind of knew right away that it wasn't a human. Yeah, I mean, what's a guy to do? A ghost or a spirit? I mean, we can't throw a punch at him and make him back off or anything like that. I kind of felt helpless. I didn't know what to do.
Stephen and I had a long talk, and we need to get somebody in here. And we need to do it fast before this escalates even more.
Desperate for help, Stephen and Taylor contact husband and wife paranormal investigators Patty and Lee Allen of Paravisions.
Taylor, she mentioned that her mother, Joyce, was doing some black magic here.
Black magic often employs spells or curses meant to inflict harm.
Black magic is not something to be toyed with. I thought it was a potential trigger.
Patty uses an EMF meter to look for fluctuations in electromagnetic energy. Lee has the psychic ability to sense paranormal activity.
I actually not just see, but I can actually feel what they're feeling, the spirit. Standing there, I felt overwhelmed.
Suddenly, Lee has a vision.
You know how when your hands fall asleep, that sensation? My whole body felt that way. As soon as I get that sensation, it's on.
All right, fellas, where we at?
I think it's on you now.
Yeah.
Ante up, gentlemen.
In the vision, 3 men are gambling at a table in the house when one of them grows increasingly frustrated.
Full house. You'll rig it right.
He was sitting with these 2 guys. Something came upon him that he didn't like the way the guy was dealing the cards.
Money's all in.
You think you can get away with cheating, mate?
Hey, don't blame me now. Just not your lucky day. Oh, come on, man. What's going on? Come on.
He went a little ballistic.
Can you believe this guy? We just basically started here. I think something funny's going on. We're just straight out of town here. Hey, what the hell? Oh my God.
It's not my lucky night, right?
No. Hey, what the hell? No.
And he wasn't going to take it anymore. And he shot them.
The killer hears a noise coming from the attic.
All of a sudden, he went upstairs.
In a small home outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, a family of 3 has been haunted by the ghosts of 2 tormented souls, a frightened little girl and a sinister man.
You'd come in the house and it'd be like a creepy vibe. My biggest concern at that point was the safety of my girls.
In an effort to reclaim their home, the family calls in paranormal investigators Patty and Lee Allen of Paravisions. Suddenly, Lee has a vision of a tragic incident he believes took place inside the house many years ago.
You think you can get away with cheating, mate?
It don't matter if it's 1800, 1920, 1999. I'm there in that time frame.
Hey, come on.
I feel everything that was going on at that time.
Hey, what the hell? Oh my God.
It's not my lucky night, right?
No.
first thing I thought of was, I gotta follow this guy.
In the attic, Lee sees a little girl hiding in fear.
She was so scared, just shaken and cold. She was so terrified that even if she breathed, she felt like he was going to hear it.
Lee snaps out of his trance and into present-day reality.
She's dead.
What did you see?
He killed them all.
He said, there's bodies in here. He said, I can just smell the blood.
2 men and a little girl. The little girl. She's here. She's upstairs.
Lee believes they are dealing with what's called a residual haunting, in which a traumatic event is replayed over and over.
Residual hauntings that's affecting this home is something that happened at its time, and it constantly repeats itself. It's a stamp of memory, and she was still trapped in that time frame.
Come help me. We're gonna cross this little girl over.
When a spirit has not crossed over, my belief is that they needed their story to be told.
It's okay. What's your name?
Tiffany?
Well, that's a pretty name.
Although Patty cannot see Tiffany, she can feel her.
Sitting there, the entire left hand in front of my body was freezing cold.
You've passed on, Tiffany. That means you don't have to stay here. You can go to a place where nothing will ever hurt you again. I can help. All you gotta do is look to the light.
A crossover you can do just by prayers. You can lead them to the light. If they see it, they can go. You just gotta talk to them, convince them, and let them know that it's okay.
Dear God, take this spirit, your child. Help her to cross over. Take away her pain and suffering. Save her as only you can do. Amen. It's okay. It's okay.
It felt as if the energy in the room had changed. And I couldn't feel a pressure on my hand anymore. The coldness left, and it was that warm sensation from my head all the way down to my toes. I felt with everything I had that she was safe, that she was gone, and that she was in a better place.
It brought tears to my eyes because we shared this moment with this little girl, and our Creator was right there, and He brought us all together. And she went to her resting place.
Suddenly, Lee is struck by another vision.
Lee? What's wrong?
killer's still here. Isabel isn't safe. No one in the family is.
For more than 6 months, Taylor, Stephen, and their daughter Isabel have been haunted by 2 spirits.
Living through something like this, it's terrifying.
Paranormal investigators finally released the soul of one of the ghosts, a victim of murder. But for the family, the ordeal is far from over. The other entity, the girl's killer, is still there.
Now with the girl gone, we were worried that he would turn his attention to either Isabel or Taylor and undo everything we had tried to do by calming the house down.
To rid the house of the evil ghost, Lee approaches him with compassion.
A normal paranormal investigator would just have went in and they would have attacked him. They would have provoked him. But then I got to think of him not as just a creepy crook that killed these people, but he's got a heart just like us. And I think he's entitled to justice just as well.
Where is she?
He knew I was there. He knew I could see.
You can't have her. You have to go now, too. You have turned your back on God. But all you have to do is turn around, and he will acknowledge you.
I told him, I says, I'm not here to judge you for what you did to those guys downstairs, what you did to that little girl. I'm here to help you. I'm here for you to cross over. I'm here for you.
I'm gonna pray for you.
The gunman concedes his fate and allows Lee to guide him to the spirit world.
Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen. It's over.
The atmosphere in the room definitely lifted. It's as if we could all finally breathe again.
When I feel it in my heart, I know the spirit is gone.
But there are still unanswered questions. Who were these spirits who appeared in Lee's vision? To this day, their identities remain a mystery.
When we researched, I was unable to find any documentation of the death of a small child in that area.
As for Taylor's mother, the family has not renewed contact since she visited their home. But they will always wonder whether her black magic awakened the spirits.
Come and show yourself. I command you.
Or if these entities were already attached to the house.
I believe that this case was sort of a perfect storm, with the history of our client's mother delving into some black magic, along with the residual of the building itself.
I know it had something to do with her. It definitely got very active after she left.
Whatever the answers, Stephen, Taylor, and Isabel will be forever grateful to Lee and Patty.
I love Paravisions because they were worried about my family, and they just wanted to help us out.
We are extremely grateful. They listen to us, they care, and I'll forever be thankful because they calmed our house down.
In June 2014, Stephen McDade and Taylor Jones wed in a small ceremony. Their daughter Isabel serves as their flower girl.
I'm very happy that I finally made Taylor an honest woman and we got married under the eyes of God.
Today, the McDade family is living peacefully in the same home they moved into nearly a year ago.
The helplessness has lifted, the fear is gone, and I love having our happy home back.
It feels like a home again now, like when we first moved in, before all the activity started. It feels like our house now.
Our daughter loves being in her room now. She has no issue going anywhere in the house anymore. She's not afraid. There's no problems, none whatsoever.
An ancient artifact, guarded by a mysterious entity, haunts mother and son.
We were now caretakers of an object. We didn't know what it looked like. We didn't know what it did.
But they do know it's dangerous.
You feel this cold, evil hatred.
We were just terrified. What else is going to happen?
Can they locate and destroy it before it destroys them?
What is it?
The portal is opened.
I'll never give in. Run!
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. Tucked between Philadelphia and the upscale suburbs known as the Main Line is a quiet, historic village. Families have settled here since the late 1600s.
It has a small town feel. Very few people move out because it's generational. People want to stay in the community.
In early 2009, Anita Intenzo, a local artist, faces a grim task after her friend of 30 years, Paul, passes away unexpectedly.
I was just stunned. He had been very healthy, in the best shape of his life.
As executor of Paul's estate, Anita must find items he willed friends and organizations and prepare his house for sale.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, honey. Thanks for coming.
She enlists her son, Chris, to help.
She was really heartbroken. You know, it was a shock.
You know, we could come back tomorrow.
No, we're here now. I'll be fine.
She hadn't been over his house in a long time, so she didn't know really what she was walking into. I told her I was going to be there to try and help her as much as I could.
I think there's a switch over here.
All right. Oh. Maybe we should come back tomorrow.
From the looks of the house, the project ahead will prove daunting.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I think we should have brought more boxes.
Yeah.
It was floor-to-ceiling newspapers, boxes everywhere.
Oh, this is gonna be a big job.
The condition of the house was horrendous. It was quite shocking.
Call up the lawyer, Mom. Tell him no. We can go home right now.
No, Chris. I need to do this for Paul.
After my divorce, Paul was there for me. He knew I had been through a hard time. So it was my way of actually saying thank you and goodbye to him. I was not going to let anything stop me to do what I needed to do.
The basement is an even greater challenge.
Whoa.
Paul was an anthropologist who collected artifacts from around the world.
Paul traveled a great deal. He was a Mayan Indian expert and went down to Guatemala and to Yucatan and Mexico on quite a few trips.
We better get to work.
I loved history, archaeology, anthropology, so that was our immediate connection. And also, he was a very kind person, very gentlemanly. It was like an archaeological dig. You never knew what box you were opening and what surprise you were going to get in it. American Indian child's moccasins, peace pipes, weapons, a lot of South American artifacts.
Oh, Chris, stop it.
So who gets all this stuff anyway?
Well, actually, I do. Well, most of it anyway.
Paul wanted me to have these things because he knew I would love them and cherish them as much as he did. We had been working at Paul's house for several months, trying to get it cleared out as fast as possible.
Every day that we were in Paul's house, it was almost an adventure. It was fun, and at the same time, it was so labor-intensive. It was a monumental task.
So what are you gonna do with all this stuff?
Put it in our basement, I guess.
Okay. Jeez.
Chris, stop goofing around.
What? It wasn't me.
Anything and everything that could get picked up got picked up and thrown across the room. I had never, ever seen anything like that.
What's going on?
I don't know. Do you think... Paul? Is it you?
I said, okay, if it's you, Paul, please make a sign. Just tell me.
Paul?
It just flew off the shelf. It's like it had energy.
It's a photo of Paul.
I always believed that there was an afterlife. I always felt like there was something beyond this. That was like the first inkling, like, yeah, he can really communicate with me. Paul was there.
Weeks pass. Anita and Chris continue clearing out the house.
I was working in the living room. I was helping my mom clean up several more of these surprise boxes, and I was getting some trash together.
In the months following the death of her friend Paul, Anita Intenzo and her son Chris have sensed the presence of Paul's ghost in his home.
My mom was pretty convinced that her friend was present in the house.
But as they prepare the house for sale, Chris begins to wonder if the supernatural being they've been sensing really is the anthropologist's spirit.
I felt one of my legs go up in the air and pushed from behind. the wind was completely knocked out of me. And I didn't know if I'd broken my wrist. I didn't know if I'd broken any bones.
Chris, are you all right?
Someone pushed me.
He said, it's not Paul. There's something else here.
I couldn't believe somebody as good as Paul would do something like that. I definitely thought it was something evil at that point.
Come on, let's get some ice on that.
Concerned for their safety, Anita contacts paranormal investigator and psychic Lori Hull, head of Tri-County Paranormal.
I have the ability to discern spirits, which means I can see them where other people aren't seeing anything.
This is your friend's home, right?
Yes.
And how did you say he passed away?
Heart attack. Sudden.
My first impression of Paul's house was that there was a lot of different energies that seemed to be swirling around the place. It felt very tense and very chaotic.
Are you all right?
A medium on the team senses a presence.
Someone's coming through. The message is coming so fast.
Who is there?
I was so startled because they asked him what his name was, and he said,
I'm Paul.
Paul, is it really you? Oh, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there for you, that I wasn't there to hold your hand or...
My dear friend, you mustn't worry.
I knew it was my friend because of the inflections in his voice. He was very proper.
I'm sorry, Anita. There are things I should have taken care of.
What sort of things?
There is something you must find.
Hola. Hola.
He said, well, I was in Peru. I was looking for things to buy.
Está muy bonito.
Yo quiero artefacto antiguo.
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 Ven conmigo. Ven.
He said this farmer came to me with this artifact. I was very interested.
His understanding was that the artifact was taken from a grave. It had been used in ceremonial ritual.
¿Cuánto es?
3. Muchas gracias, señor. Adiós.
And he said, I brought this object back. I've been studying it.
It's very powerful and dangerous.
He told us that he couldn't finish his research, obviously because he abruptly died of a heart attack.
I believe that artifact contributed to my death.
We were shocked.
When you find it, and you must find it, put it in a lead-lined box, for that is the only way you will contain it.
How do we find it?
I don't know. I lost it amongst the other relics. It changes colors and shape.
The object was able to actually change shape on its own. Or like, You want us to find something that doesn't remain the shape that it is? And we're supposed to do this how? It pretty much sent chills down our spine, hearing that we were now caretakers of an object. We didn't know what it looked like. We didn't know what it did.
Paul? Paul.
He's gone.
Paper, pencil, somebody get me something to write on, right now.
I think there's some over here. Yeah, here.
Laurie sees the image of the artifact Paul found in Peru in her mind. If the artifact is capable of changing shapes, it could return to its original form.
Have you ever seen an object that looks like this?
It had a unique shape, almost like a figure eight.
No, but there's so many.
Think, it's important. If this object is as powerful as he says it is, it could be very dangerous.
Maybe it's in his collection.
His collection, where is it?
In the basement.
Stay here.
The basement was very oppressive and very dark.
Laurie discovers a portal, a doorway to another dimension.
A portal allows non-human spirits to enter our world.
Your holy water won't work here.
After discovering the home of her deceased friend Paul is haunted, Anita Intenzo and her son Chris call in paranormal experts to investigate. Speaking through a medium, Paul warns of a dangerous artifact hidden in the house that he collected on a trip abroad. To complicate matters, he says the object has the supernatural ability to change shape.
I believe that artifact contributed to my death.
Stay here.
Laurie races to the basement to find the object and discovers a portal instead.
Your holy water won't work here.
The voice made my blood run cold. It was trying to scare me and shake my faith. That indicated that the spirit was very likely a demonic entity. And demonic entities can be very difficult to fight.
In an instant, the terrifying ordeal is over. Laurie gathers all of her strength and seals the portal.
You close a portal by focusing positive energy on the portal and asking for God's help.
Laurie believes the artifact Paul warned of is responsible for opening the portal and for the demons she encountered.
I felt there was a very powerful entity attached to this object for the purpose of protecting it and helping it do its work.
But Laurie's work is not done. Before searching for the artifact, she calls everyone together to help Paul's spirit cross over and find peace.
Paul Yeager, we thank you and we pray for you, but now it is time for you to move on.
It's against nature for a spirit to be in the physical world that we live in. They belong in the spirit world.
We promise to take care of Anita. We will look after her, we will protect her.
I said, Paul, you have my permission. You have to cross over.
You have nothing to fear. We send you with our blessing.
Laurie encourages Paul's spirit to go to the light.
Farewell. And he's gone.
It was such an emotional moment. No one said a thing. Seeing your friend cross over, I mean, I was torn. I didn't want him to leave, but he had to go. My friend was gone, really gone now. And it was just really, really hard.
Thank you so much for being here and for your words.
My pleasure. I'm glad I could help.
I'm gonna miss him.
I know. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Anita, but it's not over yet.
What are you talking about?
You can close the portal, but there's nothing to keep it from being opened again if the object is still there.
Just be careful.
Days pass. Paul's house remains eerily quiet.
Laurie said to us before her team left, she said, I want you to know we're here for you. They all said, if you need us, just call us.
Laurie also warns their best hope to rid the house of the evil spirit will be to find and destroy the shape-shifting object. Anita and Chris search for it, using Laurie's drawing as a guide.
Nothing seemed to really be the thing we were looking for.
Despite Laurie's instructions and Paul's warnings, Anita begins to suspect the hunt for the mysterious artifact is, in reality, pointless.
Mom, we've searched the entire house. Nothing looks like this.
I don't know, maybe Paul was wrong.
We figured, let's leave well enough alone.
Let's go.
We decided, well, maybe it's not here. Maybe this really isn't true.
A few weeks later, Anita and Chris finish clearing out the place, and the house is sold.
We just felt such a sense of relief. I was so ready to return to normal life and put this all behind me.
The collection of artifacts Anita inherited is moved from Paul's basement to hers. One night, Anita and Chris are enjoying a quiet evening at home.
Chris? The lights went out.
That's funny. It's just us.
Here you go. Let's go check the fuses.
For more haunting, visit destinationamerica.com. While clearing out the home of her deceased friend Paul, Anita Intenzo and her son Chris learned the haunting of Paul's home was likely caused by a powerful ancient artifact in the anthropologist's collection.
My son and I did look for this artifact, but we didn't see anything.
I don't know, maybe Paul was wrong.
After Paul's home sells, they move the collection of artifacts Anita inherited to their house. For 3 months, all is quiet as mother and son resume their regular routine.
That's funny. It's just us.
Here you go. Let's go check the fuses.
Things were flying around, and we did not know what direction they were coming from. I was like petrified. I felt so totally helpless.
To be under attack like that, you don't feel safe in your own house.
Oh my God!
The chaos subsides, but not the fear.
Oh my gosh. What in the world? Did you see?
I don't know what I saw.
Me and my mom were walking into the unknown at that point. We didn't know what we were facing.
I don't know what we brought over from Paul's house, but our place now reminds me of his house.
Anita contacts the same paranormal expert who investigated Paul's house. Laurie suspects the worst.
The activity likely started at Anita's house because the artifact had been moved there.
Yeah, I think we checked most of these already, but, oh, here.
Laurie runs an instrument over the artifacts to detect their electromagnetic frequency. Unusual spikes indicate possible paranormal activity.
No. Well, I guess we could try this one again.
Okay.
How about this, this mask?
I'm getting a little bit on this. Let's put that aside.
A box of Native American arrowheads. And this snake?
Yes.
And the mummy doll gave off electromagnetic energy.
I am getting a signal on this.
They were made out of stones and cloth. There's nothing in there that should give out the level of electromagnetic energy that you would get if you held an EMF meter next to a computer monitor. Anita's basement had a very heavy and negative presence, especially over on the side where a majority of the artifacts were. But there was no feeling of that intense reaction that you get when you encounter something absolutely evil.
Still, Laurie is confident the artifact and demon guarding it are here and could open portals allowing negative entities to come through. Until the object is found, she instructs mother and son to ignore all paranormal activity in the house.
Attention feeds it. When you pay attention to something and acknowledge that it exists, you're giving it energy and power.
But it may already be too late. One night, Chris has a bizarre dream.
This man, kind of like an old farmer, appeared out in the backyard.
This is private property.
I used to live here before I went to jail.
He had this big black dog, almost kind of like a wolf.
For months, Anita and her son Chris lived in fear while clearing out a friend's haunted house. Now, a paranormal investigator believes they've brought the source of the haunting, a shape-shifting artifact with a demon guarding it, home with them, and it's hiding in their basement.
It's a real significant threat to Anita and her family. This object causes the opening of portals, and that can allow negative entities to come in to contact with the living world.
One night, an angry, ghostly figure and his menacing dog confront Chris in a nightmare.
I used to live here before I went to jail.
He had this big, furry dog, glowing red eyes, fang teeth, just a mean, like, dog that would be, like, ready to tear your head off.
bad dream.
Or was it?
It was a patch of black hair, and we don't have an animal, we don't have any pets. And that was very strange.
Could there be a connection between the ghost man, his dog, and the demon? Anita decides to research the history of her property at the local historical society.
My house is built on the foundation of an 1800s farmhouse. Many, many people have lived and died there. I come across a record of a man named John Stanton. He was a violent person. He wasn't a good guy. Early 1900s, went to jail for murdering his wife on our property.
Anita believes he is the same man Chris encountered in his dream.
It was frightening to me. I thought maybe I was going a little bit nuts. It was reassuring almost to know that what I had seen wasn't fake.
It was a chilling prospect to know this man is roaming around my house.
Anita suspects the demon has somehow summoned the ghost man. But for Anita, moving is not an option.
I love my home, and I've worked really hard to keep it. I live there, and nothing's going to take me away from my house.
Despite Anita's resolve, she and Chris feel as if they are walking on eggshells.
I was so overwhelmed. The unsettling feeling of, what else is going to happen? I don't know what to do.
A few weeks later, Anita's worst fears are realized.
I was in my upstairs bathroom, in the shower, nothing unusual. I could see this big red gash across my chest. Then there was 2 others, like below it.
Once again, Anita calls upon the expertise of paranormal investigator Laurie Hull. To Laurie, the scratches confirm the presence of a demon.
The scratches on Anita meant that the entity was now physically interacting with her and touching her. So it was taking it to a new level of intimidation.
We've got to find that object. It's got to be down here somewhere.
But we've already looked through everything.
Let's start over here.
What is it? What are you seeing?
The portal is opened.
The portal didn't manifest in the same way at Anita's house as it did at Paul's house. It was much, much stronger.
That artifact is in here somewhere. I need to stay behind me.
What is it? You're frightening me. Oh.
This entity is filling me with these images of being strangled.
Are you all right?
And violent things happening to Anita.
I need to get out of here.
I don't want to leave you.
Run!
In the home of Anita in Tenzo, an ancient artifact with a demon attached to it has opened a portal to another world. She calls in a paranormal investigator who warns the demon seeks to destroy Anita and her son.
When the entity was showing me these images of me being strangled and it doing the same thing to Anita, I was scared.
I need to get out of here. Run!
Laurie says, Anita, you're in danger. This thing is threatening you. They said it wants to hurt you.
I told Anita that the best thing to do in this situation is to have the house blessed and cleansed by a religious authority.
Laurie knows just the man for the job. Bill Bean, an ordained deliverance minister similar to an exorcist.
I sensed the presence of evil even before I got out of my vehicle.
I was hoping Bill would identify what these sinister forces were in my house, why they were there. Can he get rid of them? Can he let them move on, confront them in any way?
Amen, and we praise you, Father God.
I went through the entire house, from top to bottom.
I rebuke and bind you. Leave this place.
Binding and casting out.
I command you to leave now and never return.
And blessing and purifying and cleansing the home. The most intense part of the battle took place down in the basement.
There, Bill finds that the artifact has opened not one, but several portals.
One of the portals was very, very powerful.
Father, as your word says, let your enemy be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord persecute them. I bind and rebuke all demons in this place. I command you to depart at once. In Jesus' name, by the almighty name of Yahweh, in Jesus' name, I bind you and cast you out.
I could sense evil coming from objects in that basement.
In the name of Almighty God, I bind these artifacts, and I dispel any demons or curses, witchcraft and magic contained within.
By the mighty power of Yahweh, in Jesus' name, I was able to close all those portals and bind and cast out all these evil spirits.
I now declare these objects to be holy, blessed, sealed, and sanctified.
And then, silence.
There was an overall just sense of calm that had never been there. The house felt really, really good.
A year later, minor paranormal activity returns.
There's little things, little annoying things. They're like children's spirits that let you know they're around. They do funny things, like take down my sun catcher off the window, but they don't break anything.
Whatever was in the basement is supposedly still there. I think he's just biding his time at this point.
Chris is now married and lives near his mom.
It's horrifying to not be able to confront something that you can't touch, can't see. I've learned just to be as strong as I can be and just try to stay calm.
Anita still resides in Havertown, in the same house, and she still misses her friend.
I have a picture of Paul in my bedroom, almost like a little shrine that I keep a votive candle near there. I loved him. Paul's artifacts are still in my basement. We've hesitated to start moving them around because we don't want anybody else to have this problem. There is still something dark in the basement. I don't go down my basement very much, but they're not going to win because I'll never give in.